Hello and welcome everybody to the lands of Lazrikaan. So we open with like an outside shot of Baroness Deltric's castle, right in the city of Pothil, and we notice, of course, the architecture is much better than it would sit then, and sort of the roads are much better than what we see in the barony of Malkane you know, and we get like the title card that lets us know where we're at. It's, Castle Deltric, Barony of Deltric, and then we kind of get like a jump cut to sort of inside the castle, and we see this the banquet hall just full, right? The Baroness Deltric wearing her wearing a very dress that is very like exotic looking and very sort of like up and very like it's definitely meant to be the most eye-catching thing in the place. It's she's got a cloak made of phoenix feathers and you know some uh, some exotic spider silk embroidery on her dress, her whatnot, and like her hair is done up very like somebody really styled it up good. um, and there is just that energy and presence, and we kind of see like other wealthy people here, a number of folk, um, and we'll start with uh, we'll start with Raziel. Where is our half giant at in the midst of all of this? These wealthy, important looking people, and servants and guards and what have you. Like you can see, like Benjamar and Gerstaga are here, but they're kind of like talking to people. Zingnov is here, and one of the whoever's not talking to somebody is probably trying to keep him from talking to too many people, I imagine. So probably Benjamar is talking to people, and Gerstaga is trying to keep Zingnov in check. But where's Raziel in all of this? Are you like getting
Yeah.
food? Are you sitting
So
down, drinking? What's going on?
one would think Raziel would feel out of place, and to an extent he does, but also he's not one to like show that sort of side to people he doesn't know. So yeah, if he catches wind that the food is free, he will be availing himself to half giant sized portions, with little regard with anyone else's desire for something. So
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. I think in fact we probably have like a couple of like well-dressed merchants like at the buffet table or at the table with you that are like kind of like doing that standoffish thing, like looking at you in horror with how much food you're putting on your plate, and like simultaneously really not gonna say anything to any creature this large. Um, so we get that kind of going on. Um,
so
where
as I'm eating.
is yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. No,
Sorry.
no, no. No, I'm
No.
just gonna say, as I'm eating, I look at like the aristocratic mages or merchants, and I'm like, this is such a strange land. It seems like the poor people have to pay for everything, and the rich people get everything for free. Um,
Preach.
I, I I think they're like I think they're just kind of like the two gentlemen near you are like
Hold on, I got a thing
that's
I gotta post now.
they're like no they're like that's not how it is at all you this and he kind of like looks around and is like and he's like unsure how to explain what's going on here to you, but also wanting to deny that this is what's going on. Like he's trying to figure out how to spin it and can't figure out how. Like he's just like, uh, I mean, you know,
are
um,
you wealthy?
he's like, I did not especially so. In fact, I'm a little surprised I was invited tonight. I just, uh, whew. He's like, Uh, it, he's totally unsure how to approach a conversation with you at all. He's like, it's like, uh, like, and maybe you noticed at some point earlier that he tends to avoid that he hasn't figured out how to talk to, like he's left conversations that like Benjamar or Gerstaga have joined, and you don't know that it's necessarily overt racism. I think he's just like super uncomfortable around anything that much larger than him. He's just a merchant. He's like, he's like, I. These are obviously people who can destroy ranks of troops. I don't want to be on their bad side. Not a fighter, buddy. Yeah. So yeah, and maybe the camera shifts around, and where do we find Aurora? What's Aurora doing in all of this?
Well, Aurora's kind of hanging out on the sides. She's got a lot to take in.
All
She's
right.
still trying to kind of figure out who the people are that she is in party with right now.
Hmm.
She's not as much concerned about what's going on with the rest of the folks that are attending. She's just getting her feet, as it
Okay,
were.
so she's kind of so Aurora. It could be safe to be said that Aurora's watching her party members more than the
Hmm.
general crowd around.
Yep.
Okay,
Well, they're
awesome.
they're the they're the immediate. I don't know that they're the immediate danger, but they're definitely the immediate attention.
Okay,
They're
all
much
right,
closer than what anybody at that party is to her. So
all
yeah,
right,
she just wants to see who it is and what they're about.
all right. So yeah, so we get Aurora just kind of hanging off to the side. You have like or do you have like anything in hand, like a
Oh, I'm
um?
drinking.
Oh, you're drinking. All right.
I'm
You like
drinking.
a glass of wine in hand.
Hmm. Yep.
Yep. Did
Yeah,
uh did
it's easy to
uh,
pretend when you're holding alcohol.
there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Are you did Aurora like pick out any fancy dresses to be here, or did she just be like, I know they want me to dress up, but I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, I don't know these people.
Okay.
There's no investment for me. I'm wearing what I would normally wear.
All right. All right. You kind of stand out.
A little bit. Hmm.
We probably see a few of the merchants and stuff like avoiding you, not necessarily like, or rather just not including you, not necessarily
Not
avoiding, but
engaging.
not engaging with you. Um, you notice a few looks, a few looks here and there. People that are like, why, what, who is this? What are they doing here? They're not dressed for this occasion, kind of thing.
Right.
You know. Um, where is Avaria at? And what is
All
she
right. So,
doing? Like the camera switches over to her.
so contrasting that Aurora with Avaria, Avaria is any clothes that they gave her to wear. In fact,
Mhm.
she went out and picked out clothes if they made clothes available.
Okay.
If they made clothes available, she picked out a nice blue dress with like silky gloves and has her hair all done up. Um, and she is walking through the party, glad handing anybody that looks official and introducing herself.
Right.
Hi, I am Avaria Kras uh, of the North, and just kind of like trying to make conversation and jokes with people. She is understanding the assignment. She is trying to get to know people in the room. So
So
she
do
is not.
you?
She is flitting through the party, talking to anybody she can.
So is she utilizing her like official status as an envoy of the barony of Malkane?
She
Uh,
sure is. She sure
okay.
is.
So you are the agent in sight right now. You're
Yeah,
definitely like
she is
the
for sure drawing attention to herself.
okay. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Cool. And where do we find Bazbeer? Like the camera shifts over to Bazbeer. What's he doing at this right now?
Bazbeer is in a similar position to Avaria. He is definitely making acquaintances, but he's being very targeted about it. He probably asked, a nearby who's who, who's important at this party,
Right.
and is going again using the barony of Malkane credentials, but also representing himself as an envoy from Tumbledark as well.
Double
Whether that
credential.
is say what?
Double credential.
Yeah. Whether that is something he has a right to claim or not is a totally different question, but he's doing it anyway. And yeah, Bazbeer is specifically going around, and he might be a little bit of a wet blanket on the party because he is going around and he's talking business. He's not. He's trying to find like-minded individuals who also want to talk about the affairs of the realm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're very directed, and you're it like where Avaria is making the show of I'm making contacts. You're very targeted in like who do I need to talk to get some levers pulled.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I reading that right then?
No, that's 100%.
Excellent. And Arthur, the camera cuts to you. And what are you doing in the moment when what is Arthur doing in the moment the camera cuts to him?
Honestly, Arthur also read the assignment. Arthur is once again dressed up and does not look like someone who looks good when they're dressed up. It looks too fake. He's wearing this brocade vest that's in sort of an off green blue color with golden brocadery across it, this doublet vest.
Okay.
Nice pants. He still has the baldric of knives across the tunic, but I think that it almost gives him this he's an adventuring sort of vibe to it. But at the same time, he has not tried to fix his hair. He has not tried to classy himself up. He's just wearing. You put a dog in a nice dress. I think is a good
You're
way to
just
put it.
it's like you're wearing nice clothes, but not wearing them well. I get that. Nice.
He does not look comfortable in nice clothes. This is very, like I said before, this is seeing Geralt in nice clothes kind of situation.
Yeah.
But
All right.
similar to Bazbeer and Avaria, he is also schmoozing. But he is schmoozing with the intent of trying to get people to slip up and potentially expose themselves by being a gossip and talking about the situation in Malkane.
All right. So I can assume that at the very least, Evaria, Bazbeer, and Arthur are doing some information gathering. Is that what I'm getting here?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the three of you can give me gather information rolls to see what you're picking up here.
Ooh, I'm not great at those.
Yeah, neither am I.
Ooh,
I did
he
pretty
says
good
this,
anyway.
and suddenly he's got okay.
Oh,
Very nice, very nice.
it
You guys
just
are
takes
good.
rolling a 19. Just roll good,
So-
forehead.
You guys are rolling extraordinarily well. Avaria? All right. So give me just a second and I will tell you guys what you learned.
Absolutely nothing.
No, I definitely like the idea of Bazbeer being in like not his armor and being in like these silks and like it
All
just
right.
being weird. Like you see like angles of Bazbeer you don't normally see.
Oh, that's what I wanted with the whole Archer in the brocade vest.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Prettied up a pig.
So all of you learn let's see. All of you learn that there is a rumor of this special after dinner club that includes a number of very rich individuals. Arter and Bazbeer, you pull two names out. Like while you are sort of like talking and whatnot. Huh?
Oh, that was just an echo.
Oh, okay. So you both get the names of Ambrel Hyren
Mhm.
of the Hyren family and Tivin Ploskett, who is a very influential banker here.
Can you put that in the chat? The name.
I think I mentioned Ambrel Hyren last
Yeah,
week, so that should be there. But
the
I'll
second
put
one, yeah.
in. I'll put that one in.
Yeah, Ambrel is in chat.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
I
Cool.
was
And
so close.
so you guys are very very you guys both learn a bit about each of these individuals too. So Archer and Bazbeer, both of you pick out that Ambrel Hyren is kind of a toast of the town in the right now. She's the Hyren family is generally known for being ambitious and a little snooty, but they have the best wine. Ambrel seems to be a little bit of an outlier. Like she's living in Pothill doing charity work with the Church of Aari the Blind Hearted. Um, she's she is like a big deal in social circles right now, especially with people who either do or want to appear to care about the poor and deal and charities and charitable causes and stuff. Um, she's a very it's rumored that they give her a stipend upon which to live, but it's also rumored that she's a little bit of the black sheep of the family because she's more personable and more into charity work and things. Um, Tivin Ploskett, on the other hand, is an interesting character. Uh, and maybe Archer, you get slightly more on this than Bazbeer, but he's probably one of the most influential bankers in town. Incredibly rich. And not only is he incredibly rich, he's he's not known to be a particularly pleasant individual, but he is very successful at what he does, and he has contacts outside of the barony. Like he's done business with the Gemfish Trade Consortium and other merchant companies out of like various ports of call, various places. Like he's got trading partners in Ocanther, Malkane. Rumor has it that he has contacts in Gister, but the majority of his power is sort of like centralized here in Pothill. He has contacts all over, but as far as his bank is concerned, it's right here in Pothill. But both of them are rumored to be a part of this special after dinner club that people seem to be either too willing to talk about or reluctant to talk about. Depending on who you're talking to. And they're easy enough to pick out of the crowd because you are both of whom are pointed out at some point in time or another.
What sort of people are anxious to talk about them? Is it is it sort of random? Is it a type of person?
So it's different, right? Like the high society folk that you're talking to, like the rich merchants and bankers and landowners and what have you. They all seem like there's either some level of envy when they're talking about Tivin Ploskett particularly, or this after dinner club, or there is some level of but there is some reticence. Some of it you would guess from the ones who seem envious is because they don't know as much as they want to know. Um, but almost to a one, any servant or guard that you ask doesn't seem to want to talk about, or seems too willing to talk about it. But none of them seem to be able to give details that don't sound contradictory to any details that the others might have had. Or, like maybe you hear from one person that that there's at least 50 members and that they have chapters all over. And from another, you hear it's only a very small exclusive group. And from another, you hear that, they're seeking to take over the barony. And from another, you hear that they're all very charitable people. Not all of them are very pleasant, but they all give freely to charity. But, and but that you get kind of like contradictory like stories about it from the people who are sort of like servants or guards or what have you. At least on the main floor. Like if you wanted somebody to send somebody to like crawl the hall, the kitchens, and gamble with the guards or something to pick up information, you might be able to get a little bit more clarity out of that. But in
Right.
terms of like the nobles, a lot of them seem envious. Some of them don't so much. Usually it's the people who are talking about how unpleasant Tivin Ploskett can be that don't really sound all that envious because, you know, those are people who have probably had, poor experiences with the man at some point. But yeah, so with this, you have a number of options. Do you guys meet back up to talk about what you found and sort of like get or at some point, or are you still just kind of roaming through?
Yeah, eventually. And we probably have agreed on something like this beforehand, but I
Yeah.
feel like Arthur
Yeah.
would signal to the party that it's time for everyone to, just meander their way, not make it look like we are intending to, but that we all end up at the snack bar or
Yeah.
something.
Right. All right. So I think, unless any of you just specifically choose not to notice or not to like go, you all kind of eventually make your way to your prearranged spot, that you're going to kind of like gather up and what have you. So you're all sort of like gathered around.
Avaria had to go gather Raziel.
Yeah, yeah. Like I imagine he was just like just stuffing his face full, and we're like, I get the signal, and I'm
He
going over and I
he's
look at
just
Raziel.
he's just
Huh?
discovered what a sandwich is and how you can put a bunch of shit inside bread and you can eat it all while holding the bread. He's loving it.
Like Raziel, we have to go.
I
I
imagine
tried these bread pockets. Holy shit!
Bread
I mean-
pockets.
how like how bizarre is this sandwich that Raziel has made? Is it just like
Oh, it's got
ridiculous
like
portions of
it's got.
shouldn't even be on a sandwich?
Oh yeah, it's got like it starts with it starts like it makes sense, right? It starts with like roast boar and like some slices of tomatoes and like green leaves, but then like there's a bunch of like cranberries and like mandarin slices and cherries and like all sorts of sauces. Since it's a whole loaf of bread, there's wine at the bottom.
Oh,
Uh,
great. Yeah, so you all managed to get to your meeting spot so you
Right,
can
like
discuss.
I just dragging Raziel back, and wine is dripping down his chin as he like stuffs the sandwich in his mouth.
I feel like Arthur sees all of this, gets one of those, oh god, this is the people I'm having to deal with looks that I think are like Aurora and Bazbear see it, he can't really hide it. But then he masks it, looks to Raziel, and says, that's an interesting looking sandwich. Did you lose a bet?
No, I'm just saving the dessert for later. And he wraps the sandwich up in a cloth and he puts it in his bag. Look,
Asbeer leans over to
I've never
Arthur.
thought of putting all my rations into a loaf of bread for the day. It's genius, really.
Good.
Asbeer leans over to Arthur and says, "Remember, our allies are an asset."
Yeah, Arthur still mutters something to the gods to give him strength through all of this for clearing his throat. We've all been schmoozing with all of the rich folk long enough, I think. Anyone learn anything?
I've learned of Ms. Hiren, the noble and winery owner. She appears to be a black sheep among her normally quite, how would you put it? Ruthless
Shite.
family. And says she's somewhat of a charitable sort. Perhaps this might be a good disposition for us to start out.
Aye, and I heard of
Perhaps we can
someone
meet her.
named...
Oh, I was gonna say perhaps we can meet her at the after dinner club that they continue to talk about.
There's a man named Tivin Ploskett there as well. He's a banker. Rich banker. Banker with banks all across the realms. I don't know about you, but that sounds to me like someone that would be perfect for the Crypt's Eye to get a hold of.
Aye, and an asset if one could be brought to side.
This whole thing seems suspicious. Half the bloody nobles just want to be there so that they can schmooze even more than they already are and stuff their face with even more rare delicacies. But I've got a bad feeling about this.
Probably Bazbeer will say, I understand minds of money. Well, I'm becoming to understand them. Perhaps I should speak to this Mr. Ploskett. Express the benefits of working with us.
Assuming he's not already working with the cult. Before we forget, remember what Jay said. At least 2 of those kill hands are already here.
Probably says, aye, best to make personal contact to verify for oneself then.
Aye. Any
So is it tribute
question?
you seek from this banker? Like an offering?
We seek to know his allegiance.
And perhaps
An offering would prescribe allegiance. We could force him to give us something.
perhaps a
Right
more
now,
delicate touch would be required for this.
aye, what Basbeer said. Folk around here are... They don't like giving up their money.
Hmm.
It's
I
like a
have to
big
say
game.
that I have to say that while a powerful banker is someone that the Crip's Eye would look for, it is not unreasonable to assume that they would go for someone of a influential family with a very well-known streak of being different from her family. she could hide in plain sight, and no one would suspect her of doing anything wrong.
Washing one's evil deeds by charity, perhaps.
Exactly.
Archer's look towards Avaria is somewhat guarded still. They have not had their talk.
Right.
If anything, it almost gives off a vibe of, oh, so you do know a lot about what a necromantic cult would think.
And like, I will say that Avaria looks at you, like looking at her, and she says, "Is there a problem, Arta?"
I just remembered that we never had our talk. We'll be doing that after this is all done, so don't get too wasted.
I lean into Avaria. What talk does he speak of?
No matter. I feel as if this is a conversation that Arta and I should have had long ago.
Agreed. Assuming she says that out loud.
She says it. She says it to Raziel, so she kind of like
Okay,
says
okay.
it as an aside, kind of whispers. But if you hear it, you hear it.
Maybe it is an implied heard it in that Archer has a look on his face that says Archer very much agrees. Thinking back to their talk in Malberg. You're not hiding anything from me, are you, Avaria? No, not at all.
You would tell me if there was something important, right? Of course I would, Arthur.
Exactly.
So yeah, so what's the next move you guys are gonna make here?
We gotta get into that after party.
I think Bazbeer's gonna start working on Tiv and Plosket.
All right.
Avaria wants to talk to the Hiren, Arabelle?
Ambrel.
Ambrel. I want to talk to Ambrel Hiren.
All right. All right. Oh, I think maybe like as you're Arthur, maybe as you're kind of like fiddling with like your pouches or whatever, you you kind of subconsciously put your hand down into a pouch and feel the pair of carved bone dice that you found in your backpack on the flight from Balkane to Pothil. Or actually, you
Now,
found them in your pouch.
once everyone else has gone and Archer is looking like Archer is trying to fiddle with the finery of fashion, Archer is going to, because I assume we're by a table or some piece
Yeah.
of furniture.
Yeah.
Archer is going to look around. Archer's going to roll some dice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Nice. They're carved from bone of some animal or another. You don't know how they got in your stuff. They certainly weren't anything you had when you started the journey. You only found them on the flight on the Zeppelin from the barony of Malkane or from Malberg to Pothil.
That's
So,
why Archer's checking them for the most important thing in Archer's mind.
are they loaded?
Exactly.
There is slightly like not bad, like not heavy enough to be like, hey, I could really gamble with these, but it might give you like a slight advantage, like maybe a +1 to a profession gambling check or something. Like they're
But
but
nothing
anyway,
like
yeah.
strange or fantastical happens. They don't like explode or start whispering the secrets of the universe.
No, they just roll.
I
They have a
think
slight tendency to roll snake eyes.
All dice did that.
I don't. I play games where if you roll snake eyes, that's real bad.
No, Whisper the Secrets of the Universe.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
they usually do. The secret is that you lost.
yeah.
But I think we see Arthur roll them, look around a little bit, shrug. That's anticlimactic.
But they're really nice. They look
They are nice.
they are carved very well.
They're made from bone and they randomly appeared in my bag in an undead campaign, so part of me has a really bad feeling that these are people dice. That's
Ivaria, question.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yes.
Did Ivaria tell Raziel that the next thing they needed to do was find a way into the after party?
Yeah, I think that would have come out in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then Raziel thinks he understands the assignment and he's gonna walk away. I'll let you know what he does in a minute.
I'll let you know what he does in a minute.
Oh God.
That's great.
That's
All
not
right.
threatening.
So I'm gonna start here. Aurora, while they're breaking off, like Evaria is going to talk to Ambrel and Basbier is going to talk to Tivin Ploskett, and Raziel walks off to do who knows what, and Archer pulls out a pair of dice and like rolls them a couple of times. What is Aurora doing?
I'm actually kind of walking around the whole area. I've kind of walked away, and I'm still kind of exploring the kind of the banquet room and the area where um, they're talking about having this after party thing.
Well,
Um,
see, that's the thing. No one has said anything about where
oh, where it is. Yeah.
this after dinner thing is supposed to occur. And as far as any of you heard, it's a club, not specifically an event in and of itself, but a club. Um, so, but you could definitely look around. But if you could definitely look around. But there's nobody said anything about where this
Oh,
might
where it is.
happen.
Right.
Yeah, like where
Yeah.
they meet or what they're doing.
Okay. I think I want to listen for that. I want to just kind of walk around and listen to conversations and see what
All
I can
right.
hear.
Hey, Aurora, question.
Give me a
Yes.
gather information.
Okay,
Okay.
never mind. Go do that first.
So you're gonna look under your skills, find your gather information, go all the way to the right and find the dice button. Ooh, very good, very good. So this,
Did my screen
how
freeze?
far? How you don't
No, they still
necessarily.
have GM rolls on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So how deep into exploring do you go? Do you stick around the ballroom? Do you kind of like check out any of the rest of the castle?
I do leave the ballroom, but I don't go very far because there's not. That's where the people are. So if I want to hear something, I want to stay kind of close to where the people are. But I also know that if they're having conversations, they're not going to be right in the middle of the floor doing it.
So maybe you manage to make your way back into like a kitchen area, like
Mhm.
where they're hauling food in and out. You know, you see the servants coming and going, and most of them are pretty much ignoring you, like going about their business. Like maybe there's one person who tries to like stop you, but like they get distracted with lots of other things going on. And maybe you, after running into, and you have a small conversation with them, and maybe have a small conversation with a couple of other servants and guards here and there. Um, you know, various people who might have tried to, like, either figure out what you're doing in this area or what have. But upon conversation with them and sort of dropping hints and what have you, you learn a little bit more. So You learn that Tivin Ploskett recently bought a townhouse that where like a famous murder had occurred. Like by all intents and purposes, it was a really good he got a really good deal on it, which makes sense considering he's sort of like known to be a shrewd businessman. But people, assign all the kinds of like superstitions to a house where a famous murder occurred. So it's kind of big news. Um, you also find out that, you hear a little bit more about this after dinner club. But they also, it seems like they have members outside of the barony, like because there are people that are foreigners that come and visit Tivin Ploskett, and he treats them as honored guests. Probably treats them better than he treats most of the people around town. But there is something else here. Like you catch this in whispers, and maybe this is like you overheard a couple of scullery maids whispering over this and got involved in the conversation. But there's something sinister going on with this after dinner club. Like none of the people who were rumored to work one of their occasions will speak of or even acknowledge any of it. Like from time to time, it'll pop up that, so and so was supposed to have worked, for, it was supposed to have worked for one or the other of the members and worked one of the events. But when they're asked about it, they won't talk about it. They won't acknowledge that they were ever a part of it. You know, so there's something that and it could just be rumors that, common folk, get up to when they're superstitious or mistrusting of public figures that are wealthy. But, these two scullery maids seem fairly convinced that there's something wrong going on there. And they cite the fact that Ploskett bought the townhouse where the famous murders had occurred, um, and what have you, as further proof that there is something wrong with it, because he's one of the names people associate with this after dinner club.
Right. And why would he buy a house like that? If he's got all the money that he's got, why would he buy that particular house? It
Yeah, and
seems
that's kind
strange
of
that it's not a house of good status.
yeah, you know,
Yeah. Hmm.
it's a good deal, but common people are, but why? You know,
Yeah.
like he may have saved a few hundred gold pieces on it, but who wants a place like that? But that's kind of, and maybe that's kind of where we leave, or like you're like maybe like the scullery maid is just finishing making this point, and why would anyone buy a place like that, even if you're saving a couple hundred gold pieces, unless there's just something really wrong with you? I tell you, there's something going on with this club they keep talking about, and we'll cut away and we'll cut back to uh, first we'll cut back to Arthur. Um, Arthur, like maybe you're just kind of like looking at these dice, and Baroness Deltrick kind of walks up and to your side, and she goes, "Mr. Tiller, would you walk with me for a moment?"
I think Arthur does put on like it's not a sleazy little grin, but all of his smirks and grins have a sort of sleaze to them as he tucks
Yeah.
these dice away and goes, "Hope I'm not in trouble."
She offers her arm for you to take her arm. She goes,
Oh, he takes
"Not
the
at
arm
all."
like a true gentleman,
Yeah,
a
he's like,
true lowborn gentleman.
yeah, she's like, "Not at all." She goes, "I simply wanted to talk to you about something that believe you might consider a more personal matter." And she says, "Your symbol." She goes, "I've seen it before, but not for a very long time." She's
What,
like,
this? And he points to the necklace.
"Indeed." She goes, Have you heard of the Forewarned?
Archer kind of sniffs through his nose, thinks for a moment. I think I've heard one or two people say it in Malkin, but you know how most people are. They tell you something in a mysterious way, and then before you can even ask what word they said, they've already fucked off.
Well,
Rude.
perhaps I can give you a little bit more information. After all, I do have a particular interest in history. The Forewarned were rumored to be a organization, one of the first to see the coming of Jean-Atij Blacktomb before he took over the world. His antiquities are something of a specialty of mine. And she goes, it is rumored that they were so called the Forewarned because they had some agreement or alliance with a god of prophecy that predates Seta, the Knowing. It is also said that such symbols like that, if once could act as guide stones to secret locations known only to the Forewarned. I've never been able to uncover this ancient prophecy god's name. Although I still continue my research into it. But their rumors are that your symbol could be used as a guide stone, or perhaps have some functionality that reacts with divine power. Although, given that God tied to the divine power is long forgotten, I'm not certain how much help that would be for you, but perhaps it gives you a little more background.
I think listening to all of this, Archer has his thumb and his forefinger along, and it's something that Archer's people have noticed Archer does sometimes when he's deep in thought, as he kind of fiddles with the pendant of this necklace.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing that again, and his brow is furrowed, and he doesn't know exactly how to feel, so there's this incredulity across his face.
Yeah, she's like, my research is far from comprehensive. There are a great many details lost to history, and probably a few artifacts of such knowledge that I have not come upon yet. But if you are going to carry such an item, you may be concerned of its history. I knew of a handful of people who still bore the tradition, or at least some of those artifacts, those symbols. The last ones I knew were closer to Baron Larrigan's territory, although they disappeared some many years ago under mysterious circumstances.
Now, I got this from my mother. According to my auntie, she was just a sellsword, same as me.
She goes, perhaps she came upon it in her travels, or so it was given to her by the individuals by holdouts of the Forewarned. Very few people even know of their existence, let alone their history or their uh, uh, their hidden safe houses.
All I know is that she apparently wanted me to have this, but only when I came of age. If I ever wanted to leave home, I was supposed to be given this.
Well, if you I'll continue my research, but if you find a way to activate it or utilize it to help find those hidden caches before I do, please, I would appreciate knowing. It's like, I'll continue to look into it. If I find out anything more, I'll let you know.
Archer gives a dumb nod to that, and if this is the point where the two of them part,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's
There's just-
probably something where she leaves. Archer looks down at this necklace, and that vulnerability that was there for a moment, he quickly masks back up in that, devil may care look that he always carries, snorts, and goes, prophecies and dead people. What a load.
Even though
But
you're following a
there's
prophecy.
there's a glint in his eyes where he's just saying this because he is reinforcing what he's been told. And that is just breaking a little bit.
All right. Let's go over to Ivaria. You managed to find yourself in the presence of Ambrel Hiren.
Okay.
And
So what is she doing?
she is currently talking and laughing, and there's like others around her, and there's a bit of like telling a story of some kind or another about like an amusing anecdote that happened a couple of weeks ago at another social event. And there's a bit of laughter amongst her and the individuals who are talking to her. And they all seem to be treating her like she's a fairly special individual. Like they raise a toast to her at some point. Um, but yeah, you manage to get into this group of sort of like hangers on.
Yeah, I kind of just stroll into the group and
Mhm.
I just immediately started laughing like I was there the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And
Like-
and then I
Varya is the worst kind of person.
Give me a bluff check here.
all right.
For anyone wondering, all of Joe's characters do shit like this.
Would just walk into places and
No,
pretend.
I'm just thinking of all of your idiosyncratic characters. Like Avaria reminds me of like a really brave Tulane.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe a couple of people like look at you like who are you and what are you doing here? Like most of them are too caught up in the moment, but there's a couple of them that are like, who are you? Um, I don't think Ambrell has particularly noticed you yet. Um, she seems to be equal parts enjoying and somewhat embarrassed of the attention. So yeah.
yeah. So I step in and I like laugh like I've been there the whole time, enjoying the story. Everybody is looking at me weird. She doesn't notice, and I I've straightforward introduced myself not just to her but to all of the hangers on as well.
Okay.
I say, what a fascinating story. My name is I forgot my name. Avaria Kraz. Uh, I am here on behalf of the Baron of Mulcaine, and I have to say that you are such a fascinating person. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I think she smiles, and she's like, Miss Cross, I heard that the Baron of Mulcaine had sent envoys. To what purpose do they send you here? Surely there's no tension between between the two baronies, or perhaps an alliance of sorts?
Yes, an alliance is exactly why we're here. There are things moving in the lands of Lazrikaan that demand the attention of all barons and dukes and duchesses and baronesses, and we are here simply as an envoy representing the Baron of Malkain. But what brings you to this soiree?
Well, personal invitation. You know how it is whenever whenever a visiting envoys from other visiting ambassadors make their way to a new territory. They are treated with like honored guests, and as such, it is expected that the people considered important and are to make a showing of their face, and she seems somewhat embarrassed when she says people of some importance. She goes, "Really, I'm." And she goes, "Really, I'm here hoping to gather some support for some of the charities I work with. Uh, that's otherwise." Um, she goes, "Otherwise, this would be a rather drab affair with a very poor purpose for me to be here." And she goes, uh, she's like, uh, I think she probably is like, I've been doing. She goes, I was hoping the Church of Aeri is trying to is currently working on trying to open a full time shelter for those who have no shelter in when there is storms. I, I'm sure as I'm sure you realize, this last spring was rather brutal.
Yes, my compatriots and I were found ourselves in the midst of a tornado, if you could believe that. But as she talks about Ieri, because uh, Avaria is still wearing her pendant of Ieri
Yeah.
openly. Um, so
Okay.
she says, she kind of almost drops her pretense as Ambrose talks about like the church's work on helping like those are the downtrodden. She says, "So what kind? My father was a cleric of Ieri, and he helped those in my town of Krail as the plague ravaged that town, and he himself died of the plague as he was uh, healing those who couldn't heal themselves. What is that the kind of thing that you feel that the church should be doing as well? I would gladly see that you would find support in something like that."
Well, the church is always there to help those in need, whether victims of storms or whether impoverished and down on their luck, or perhaps even there are some places that even have barristers in for those who are who find themselves in trouble with the law, help negotiate a more humane rehabilitation rather than outright execution in places where such executions exist, or shorter prison terms for minor offenses. The, there are, of course, those that are victims of tragedies, bandits, roving bands of undead, tribal peoples raiding, that sort of thing. The church does many of those things. My outreach is here in Pothel. I can't
What
be everywhere at once.
I have a question. You bring up roving bands of undead. Is that something that you've seen or heard about recently?
Personally, no. I haven't had anything to do with anything to do with the undead. As I said, the borders of the barony of Deltric are rather well protected. That's a problem more for the savage, lawless area. I understand the Baron of Malkane recently had some problem with a larger group of undead, though. You're from the barony of Malkane. What did you see what happened there?
It was unfortunate what happened in Cleric. And I'm certain that in fact, I was there on the ground during that time. I'm certain your charitable work would be of great interest to the Baron of Mulcahy. I would suggest that we make a connection.
Perhaps she goes. She says, "Perhaps. Is there a need for help with refugees from Klebrick? How badly was the place hit? Were there many casualties? Does the
Very many.
village still stand?"
Out of character, does the village still stand? like I
Uh,
know a lot of people
about
died. But,
about halfway. About half of it
okay,
stands. Like
okay,
clearly, City Hall was blown up.
right. I'm like, because in my mind it was leveled. She was like, so she says, half the village was destroyed, but there are half that persevere, and they could use the charitable workings of one such as yourself, with the Church of Ieri backing you, and with your not unconsiderable wealth, you could help revive that city. But you would need to talk to the Baron first, of course.
Well, of course, I would also need to speak with the church. Unfortunately, my stipend is enough to keep me in a somewhat comfortable living, but the rest of the family doesn't exactly agree with my what they would call wasteful spending.
And
Uh,
why does your family dislike your charities?
it's more to the point they seem to dislike charity in general. They consider wasting money on those who clearly, in their minds, don't have the motivation to be successful on their own. So, all in
Does it
all,
seem like
yeah,
oh yeah,
you want to make
I
us.
wrote yeah, I wrote a sense motive to see, does she seem like she's being genuine?
Uh, about everything she spoke of so far, generally, yes. She is a black sheep of her family. She is doing outreach with, she speaks with the confidence of something that knows that you could easily fact check her to find out if she's doing like charity work. So she's obviously doing the charity work, and she is obviously at odds with like she's not like she is the black sheep of the family to a large degree. Um,
What about what she said about the undead?
she hasn't actually seen any undead recently, although it'd be a stretch to say to really try to gauge a time frame on how long, because most people
Yeah.
in the lands of Lazrikaan have seen at least some undead somewhere. Like,
All right.
but she hasn't seen any in the barony of Deltric.
Okay. Well, at that point, um, Avaria asks her if she is going to be at the, like, kind of like whispers, is like leans in. It's like, I assume you're going to be at the after dinner club.
she she looks at you and she says, she's like, the after dinner club. Such a silly rumor. She goes, they I have friends that are wealthy, but you know how the poor are. They'll make a big deal out of any gathering of sufficiently public figures. I had dinner with one or two other influential individuals, but there's hardly any kind of club.
I'm gonna try another sense motive. I hope it is decent. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Does it
Okay,
seem like she's lying about that?
so here's what you get from that. When you talk to her about this, there is a look of slight embarrassment on her face. She is she is not telling the truth on this. There is an after dinner club that exists. She is a part of it. She is embarrassed about it. But you can also tell that if you try to press the issue here, it's not going to get you anywhere. She'll cause a scene and it'll be a bigger issue than it needs to be. So this is somebody that you're either going to have to corner when you have a more private moment with, or and you'd need a pretty good excuse for, now that you've put her on guard about this. Um, you know, will she talk about it outside of the earshot of other folk? Perhaps, but she's certainly not going to talk about it anywhere that could be considered public. But she's
So,
embarrassed about this whole dinner club thing, this after dinner club thing.
so my response to her, like I kind of like examine her. I say, of course, I had heard the rumor and I was interested, but you are such a refreshing person that it cannot be true. If you say it is untrue, I believe you. It
She,
just has been. Oh, go. You say?
yeah, I think maybe she puts a hand on your wrist and she goes, "I appreciate you understanding on this, your understanding in this matter. Vicious, scandalous rumors come from all angles, and fortunately, it is a drag on my. It does make my charity work a little bit harder sometimes when people have such strange ideas." And um, and she's like, and I think she probably is like, "Miss Cross, perhaps she goes, perhaps we can speak some other time about extending an outreach to the refugees from Klebrick and further. I'm not certain that my family I'll be able to get any money out of my family. Perhaps I can help. I can get the church here in Pothill to start a program to help fund something."
That it would be wonderful. I will gladly tell. Uh, Let us stay in contact, and if that is something that we are able to do, then we can talk to the Baron about it, and that would be wonderful.
She
Thank you so
nod,
much.
yeah, she nods and she's like, and she goes, and the Church of Iari definitely appreciates any supporters, that help from any supporters. And perhaps at some point you may leave a donation at the temple.
I will do that.
And
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
and then
she's
I doff myself like like not a tip of my hat because I'm not wearing a hat right now, but I
all
like
right.
give like a slight curtsy,
Mm-hmm.
and I say, Ambrelle, Lady Hiren, it is very nice to have finally met you. I thoroughly enjoy your family's wine, and then with that, I take my leave.
All right, awesome. So we'll cut over to Bazbeer. Bazbeer, you managed to find your way into a conversation like with Tivin Ploskett. Well, you managed to see Tivin Ploskett. Like maybe we'll figure out how your approach goes, but he appears to be discussing business with somebody else who looks like they're trying very hard to look as important as Mr. Ploskett himself is.
Yep, Bazbeer, in his old age, is quite patient. He will wait until that conversation seems to come to a natural head, and he will then approach straightforward, looking at Mr. Ploskett. Like, he's not trying to like put on airs and be like, "Oh, like I'm slipping into the conversation." No, he's like walking towards Tivin Ploskett with like intent, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I think I think as he's finishing up the conversation, like his servant, like his assistant, probably stops you and is like, and is like, "Do you have an appointment?" He's like, "Do you?" And is like, "May I help you?"
Ah, yes. I was just simply wondering if I might speak with your fine employer here. I have certain matters of business that might behoove him of his attention.
Yeah, I think the assistant is like he goes Ambassador Forteller. Uh, I will see if Mr. Ploskett can free up a moment. And he says, if you'll wait right here, and like the Ploskett's bodyguard, who kind of looks at you and kind of takes a stance, and the assistant goes over and talks to him for a second. Conversation is rather hushed, and the assistant comes back and he's like, Mr. Ploskett can spare a few moments this evening. He goes, and he said, and he he like leads you over to him, and he's like, Mr. Ploskett, may I present to you Ambassador Basbeer Foreteller from the Barony of Mulcaine and Tumbledark, if I
Aye.
remember. Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, and Tivin Ploskett turns and he reaches out a hand to shake your hand. He goes, Tivin Ploskett, I run the Bank of Pothil.
Ah, pleasure to meet you, sirrah. 'Tis a good day to meet you.
And he
He goes,
says, "Oh, go ahead."
yeah. He's like, what can I do for an ambassador?
Ah, well,
two places, very important.
I would not overstate mine own importance, but I would say I do come with many tidings, some good, some ill. But the first thing that I wish to speak to you about is something of a purely business-minded matter. You see, I have, of course, one might say immigrated, even if only temporary, to the surface, and to these realms that we currently stay in. I would be most interested, seeing how you are a man of handling money, if I were to get assistance in perhaps a loan, or at least a decent area to put mine own treasures and any sort of beneficiary pay that I might receive above ground here.
And he kind of looks at you and goes, he goes, I certainly have the means to open accounts. However, wouldn't it behoove you as an Baron Mulcaine to set up with the banks there in Malberg, perhaps? Or even Lauben?
Well,
Because why would
the way-
you...
Oh, go ahead.
He's like, what would interest you in having an account here in Pothil?
Well, in the time that I've been here, I've learned many things of finance. I've done much reading, and I've understood that a diversification of investments is, well, and a diversification of one's portfolio is quite beneficial to them.
Yeah, he goes, oh, hey, hold on a second. It's starting to rain. I think I may have left my car windows down. He's like,
Y'all like how I'm approaching this guy with business first?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the only way to get on his good side.
I
Also,
thought
go
Avaria
ahead.
did all right with old girl.
Yeah, I did notice something during that conversation, though.
What's that?
You remember what Gailrad Tackard told us about her contact in the Hiron wines?
I don't, but refresh my memory.
She said that there was something going on at Hiron Vineyards that might have something to do with the undead, and I think that that's quite interesting that she didn't have anything to say about that.
That is something that I had forgotten, so I'm glad that you brought that back up.
I've been following pretty closely, and I feel like she's a little suspect in my opinion.
sorry about that. I just started hearing the thunder and it going boom, and I'm like, oh crap. Fortunately, I did not leave my windows down, so I'm a
Nice.
little wetter for the experience, but at least I know.
Oh well.
Uh, hey, it's a good thing I have a trench coat because it limited the amount of wet that I got. Covers a great deal of my body.
Hmm.
All right, so I think he's like diversification is always is always important for one's for one's future, as it were. Having something to retire back on.
Of course, and I also have interest in real estate, which is also why I would be interested in perhaps knowing if there were any potential real estate investments that you might know of that I might be able to invest in as well.
Oh, well, there's probably a number of. I could put you in contact with a number of folks that handle that handle properties. He goes, I could. He goes. It says I'll give you a list of. I can give you a list of names of the land merchants, the land dealers here in Pothil, anyway.
Yeah, and
Um,
Bazbeer pulls out his book and says,
Of course,
and like
He says-
starts, taking notes.
he's like, "Why don't you stop by my office at the bank on?" He goes in 2 days in the afternoon, 2 days from now. I should be able to get together a list of names of the potential properties and those who hold the lease on each, who hold the deeds for each of them.
of course, of course. That sounds like that would be very amenable. I appreciate your time.
He goes, he goes, we do handle a lot of, he goes, we do handle a lot of, uh, and in case you're wondering, we do handle a lot of very transactions. The Baron of Larigan has done business with us as well. I believe he took out a loan for repairs to Castle Larigan.
Hmm.
And Bazbeer will say,
High clientele. I know that I will most likely be in good hands then.
and
goes, yeah.
he says,
But there is one more piece of business that I wish to discuss. One that is much less official, but not any less important.
He says, go on.
You see, we come as envoys from the barony of Mulcain on somewhat grim tidings. It appears that there is a certain level of organization and danger involving cults that, well, deserve to be looked into. At some point, our group, our division, might need to, well, make powerful contacts in certain places. I'm not asking for an investment. I'm not asking for anything except for your time to potentially meet with my superior at some point so that we might be able to better discuss more delicate matters.
Why don't you bring him with? Why don't you? He goes. I assume you mean the head of your team at
Aye.
Mr. Tiller.
Aye.
Bring him with you a lot. Bring him with you to the offices on 2 days hence. He goes. He goes. We can discuss matters. We can discuss matters there a bit more privately.
Says, of course, Sarah. I appreciate your time once again, and I will leave you to your busy schedule. I'm sure that a party like this is more than just a party, but a network as well.
He goes. He goes. He goes. Very shrewd observation of you, Mr. Foreteller. And he goes. And yeah.
yeah, Bazbeer will shake his hand once again, and he'll walk away from this, knowing that he's kind of kicked the can down the road and learned a little bit about this guy, and maybe gotten on his good side.
All right. So as you're walking, maybe there is. As you're walking, maybe there's a like the Baroness of Deltrick kind of falls in step with you a little bit, and she's like, "Would you?" Actually no. I think maybe Ibley.
Yeah.
I think Ibley probably falls in step with you, and he's like, the Baroness would like to speak with you in her study. He goes, he goes, he goes. She considered a bit of a personal matter, or rather a professional matter that you would probably be the one to take most personal interest in.
Hey, lead the way then.
All right. So I think he leads you like down the hallways a little bit to a study down the way. And the Baroness is in there and opens the door, and the Baroness is in there, and she kind of looks at Ibley and she goes, "You may leave us, Ibley."
Basbeer
And
gives a small bow as he enters.
yeah, and I think she, as you enter, she kind of let's see, make sure I gotta go to the right spot here, or 'cause I have specific things written down. Okay, so she's like, I imagine, given your general mission and your from what I can observe of you, the dynamics of your group, you would be the one most likely to make the best usage of this information, but I'm going to give you access to my study here. You'll find a history of the lands of Lazrikaan, the history your people have missed. She goes, and she's like, and I have given word to I've given word to my people that you are to be given access to my copy of the original Treaty of the Empty Throne, the Lord's Agreement, the alliance between the varying nobles of the time. Although Malkane and I are not blood, we are still bound to this charter by our title, and I thought that if you were looking to gather a Lord's Council together, perhaps looking through the agreements that were originally made between the lords would give you some knowledge to proceed.
I think that Basbeer will look around and kind of snap back into attention and sort of give like a resolved nod and say,
This is quite the boon, Madam Baroness. I do not know how to thank you.
And she smiles and she goes, I'm going to take a wild guess that the Order of the Unbroken Scroll knows nothing about that book that you have on your back.
he immediately, like, if Basbeer could blanch, he would, right? His face looks a little dumbfounded and he says,
You are the first, my lady, to know anything of my people.
She goes, it's your people have had some contact with individuals, not much, and I'm certain they don't talk about it. At least not your superiors wouldn't want such information to spread. They're very particular, aren't they?
Basbeer's face gets very calculated for a second, and he says,
Of course. 333 years, and still able to be made of a fool.
She goes, she's like, she goes, if they haven't already figured that you have that tome, I imagine they will soon enough.
I'm certain that with my position that I held, I would be under extreme scrutiny.
She kind of chuckles. She goes, "Don't worry, I won't say anything. Truth is, I rarely have any contact with Tumbledark at all." And it kind of at this point you now remember that she had zero reaction to the fact that you are the palest dwarf anybody has seen. She's like literally the first person who hasn't reacted in shock to you or thought you were undead on
Yeah.
just off rip.
Oh
And
yeah. Well.
this suddenly clicks with you. You're like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit. No wonder."
I thought she was just polite.
Yeah.
um,
It suddenly clicks with you like, "Wait a minute. This is the first person."
Bazbeer probably says,
If I may ask another favor, if it is not a bridge too far.
And she kind of gestures for you to continue.
If you are to speak to my people again at some point, especially before I am able to make my way back, tell them that the time is coming. The doors will have to open.
Yeah, she nods and she goes, "I can pass that along."
Bazbeer bows once again. This time maybe a little deeper, as he is very much. He expresses,
I am in your debt. I will
And
do
she
my
could,
best to deal with this threat in any way that I may be able to help, expending life or limb for it.
uh, she said, "I had a feeling you may say something of that." She goes, "I do not wish to take up any more of your time. I simply wanted to let you know that I was going to give you some access, help you learn a few things that you may not already be up on, and give you an idea of what you're up against."
yeah. And
Ev-
Bazbeer. Oh, go ahead.
She's like, she goes, "Every lord has a copy of the Treaty of the Empty Throne. Baron Mulcaine has his copy, Baron Larigan, Duke O'Cantor, the Countess of Gister. I believe even the Lord of Stubble, I believe even the Lord Warden of Stubble has managed to obtain a copy, although I doubt he was given one initially. Baron Lawnweave, House Lawnweave has a copy. They had a slightly different and more elevated position back when it was signed. You'll find the signatures of House Vlosser, a few other houses exist.
Probably nods and says,
I will glean all of the knowledge that I can from it. If there is one thing that I am known for, it is processing this types of information.
She nods and she goes, she nods and she goes, "Well, I believe I've taken up enough of your time. I will allow you to either return to the party or your studies, whichever suits you most."
Probably says, my lady.
Yeah. She, but yeah. And,
and yeah, he'll stay in the study and
okay. Yeah.
immediately get to work.
Oh,
The
yeah.
extent of his social impact has been spent at the party, and now he's into work time.
All right. So you are, so yeah, you're getting to work. She goes back to the party. Raziel, we haven't checked on you. How have you interpreted or misinterpreted the instructions here? I'm curious.
You are muted, by the way.
My apologies. My partner just came back with some groceries. Could you please repeat the last statement?
What is Raziel doing? How has Raziel interpreted or misinterpreted the instructions? We're curious.
in a rare moment, he has interpreted them correctly. He just lacks context for why it matters. So he's told there's an after party that Ivaria needs to get into so that she can move things along, and he can't move things along until she moves things along. However, he's not good, like similar to Aurora, he's not really good talking to stuffed shirts, but he's also not sly or stealthy. So I think what he's going to do is he's going to seek out the security detail for this event and try to suss out like who is leading this detail in for this like banquet event.
You like you're trying to figure out who's the head of the
Head
security
guard, yeah.
detail?
Yeah, head guard.
Well, I think it's probably like there is like a on floor commander like of lower level, but the ultimate security details are left up to like go directly to Benjamar. Like he's
All right.
sort of
So
like he's sort of like been put in charge of a lot of that.
heard. So if Raziel went around asking guards who's in charge, he'd ultimately be pointed to this guy.
Yeah, yeah. The one of the
Cool.
orcs that you the
He's the shorter male orc from last session, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Raziel.
He still towers above humans and but he's shorter than you and his
Literally
part
only Raziel calls him
oh,
short.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so he finds, what was his name?
Benjamar.
Benjamar.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what's Benjamar doing towards like, I'm assuming the party's like waning. It's towards the end if we're already if we're talking about after parties.
Yeah. It's kind of like doing the it's kind of like I'd say we're starting to get closer to a point where there's a little less going. There's still plenty of people here socializing, but it looks like this is pared down from the people who were here to make an appearance to the people who are here, or rather, from the people who are here to do business to the people who are here to make an appearance. Because the people
Cool.
who are here to do business are starting to leave at this point.
Cool. So he approaches Benjamar and he's like,
Yeah.
it figures that they'd put you in charge. You do look stronger than everyone else here besides me.
He goes, he kind of chuckles. He kind of chuckles. He goes, "Well, that's not exactly what I'm in charge, but I understand your point." He,
I
he,
see no one here who might beat you in single combat, so that would put you in charge, at least according to my belief.
he goes, "Oh no." He looks over at Gerstaga,
Uh-huh.
the female orc that's bigger. He goes, in a singles physical competition, she's got me every time. And she said, like, he goes,
So he says, oh, good.
he goes, think she's scary now? You should see her when Zingnov makes her even bigger. And
Interesting. I would
yeah,
like to see that one day.
he
However,
goes,
I have a question for you, Benjamar.
"Hmm?"
Lady Avaria seeks some affair after this one. I know not what these soft hands are trying to do, but if she needs to find this club, whatever it may be, I am seeking that club now as well.
He kind of
What do
looks
you know?
baffled.
What do you know of this cult of decadence?
He looks super confused. He's like, club, cult, what exactly are you referring to?
I don't know. It makes no sense to me. Apparently, they eat dinner after they eat dinner, and they need to go to a club to do it.
I think he kind of looks at you and goes, oh, I've heard of this after dinner club. Don't know much about it myself. we just returned to Pothil just a few days ago. We've been further north doing some investigations. He goes, he kind of looks around and he goes, he asked me, he goes, all of these all of these nobles and their clubs are not even nobles. It's because I think maybe the warden of Isham or the warden of Gislin maybe have some affiliation, but I don't know. Don't I don't know a whole lot about it. Because he goes as
Noble,
far
you say? Point him out.
goes he kind of looks around and he goes he goes, well, technically the Lord Wardens are a rank of nobility. Because I believe he goes, I believe Lord Isham left about he goes, left some time ago. And Lady Gislin, well, she didn't stay very long to begin with. He's like, it was as far as this club goes. He goes, you probably know more than I do.
Ah, poor Benjamin. You simply must get your operational security intact. Do not worry. I will find this club. I am going to leave the palace and start searching for that noble he mentioned. Uh, just going to ask around and roll survival.
Yeah,
All right. So as he
You-
is like about to leave, because he is towering above everybody else in this whole place,
right.
and I just see him like talking to Benjamar, and like I can hear Benjamar, like Benjamar's voice is very low compared
Yeah,
to Raziel's. Like Raziel is just like the dude who can't regulate his tone, so he just talks in this loud
Yes.
like
We must find another kind of deal.
right. Yeah, and so like I
If
walk
if you
like
speak quiet, no one can hear you. Why does anybody do that?
I walk over to Raziel. I'm like, Raziel, this is a party. This is a no. I don't even use my British voice. So I'm like, Raziel, what are you doing? You need to keep a lower profile.
What was the name of that random noble that Benjamar told me about?
he didn't give you a full name. It was like
Yeah,
Isham and Lady Gislin were the ones that he mentioned. But
Isham.
that's
Yeah, Isham left more recently. That's who he says he's looking for. He's like, I'm
Like,
just going to find Isham and figure this out for you people. I'll
no,
talk with you guys.
no, that is how things get done around here. You talk to people, they tell you things. You can't just barge your way into places.
I've been talking to people all night and no one has said anything.
I'm like,
it honestly kind
Raziel,
of feels like that's really true to you because a lot of people talk about things that really have no bearing on survival. Like they're talking about about taxes and things like that are way over Raziel's head, like civilized concepts. And they're talking
Right,
about like events that don't seem to have impacted anything. So you're like, they're saying nothing.
right. And then like
Arthur's clapping. He agrees.
right, and this whole time he makes his way up here surviving and like bartering, and he sees that like every single thing from a fucking directions to a bread costs money, and then he finally gets around people who seem to have money and everything is free, and
Oh
like
yeah. It's
This
he doesn't
I like
understand
Raziel. I
this.
like how this is not his scene.
So like
so
he leans back down to Avaria and he's like, "So to get what we want, we need to ask, but we cannot ask unless we are told to ask. But we do not get told to ask because we need to know what we're looking for." Is that all correct?
like, yes. Raziel, you have to just keep quiet. You cannot do this. Otherwise, they won't tell us anything.
Is that why you haven't sang death?
What?
Can I please say that Arthur is close enough to where he
Yeah,
heard
He
that,
did.
like,
Sure.
cranes his
Raziel did
head.
whisper that. He did
Oh,
lean into Avaria and say that. Because he's sort of just
dang!
starting.
I was gonna say just crane his head completely around with this look that's like, these bitches.
Say that one more time, because like I was too busy laughing at what you said before. I didn't even hear what you said.
Raziel leans down to you and in a slightly quieter voice, because he's trying, says, "Is this why you have not sung to death?"
I'm like, I'm like, you cannot say that. They will kill me.
Can you be killed?
Raziel, I
Also, I've
cannot
never.
talk.
Also, that wouldn't happen. They would not kill you. Because they'd have to
Like-
kill me.
Like she just like holds the bridge of her nose for like 30 seconds. And then she finally like she just takes a deep, sharp breath in and she looks up and she returns to her posh accent and she says, I cannot deal with you right now. I'm going to go outside and get some air. Let the party know that I am just thinking. And like she like walks out and leaves the party.
Okay.
Raziel does not move. He turns to the center of the room and says, Lady Avaria has stepped out. Nobody follow.
For sure, hearing that Arthur turns, looks at that, and like keeping eye contact with Raziel, because he has basically told Raziel, I'm your boss. He's gonna go follow Avaria.
So you
Raziel
are,
stands in front of whatever door Avaria exited from.
yeah. So
Come on, let me go.
Aurora, uh, let's cut over to Aurora real quick. So Aurora, you have just found out this information that, like, that the servants are saying something really sinister is going on at this like after dinner club, and that Tivin Ploskett bought like a house that was a site of a famous murder and whatnot. Like, so where are you headed now? You just found this stuff out talking to servants and the like.
I'm trying to kind of find the group and pull back together with
Right.
the group because I want to hear what everybody else has found out too.
All right.
Kind of tell them a little bit about what I found.
All right. So okay. So you manage to make your way back up, and you see Arthur and Raziel standing by one of the front door, like by one of the doors. They seem to be talking. You don't see either Basbir or Avaria anywhere, and you all know that you left Saren in his room meditating and whatnot. Like he just opted out. He was like, no, can't do it today. Um, but you see Arthur, who has ostensibly been like identified as the group leader, and Raziel, one of the other newest member, talking. So you found at least two of them.
So,
And Arthur is like he has one hand on his hip and the other he's rubbing at his forehead as he's trying to get past this door. And he's done the little kid thing of big guy in front of the door and he just tries to like squeeze around either side.
All right,
But is now like, you don't understand. I need to speak with her in private. You were there when I said it.
Avaria has requested nobody follow. I'm sure there will be a chance for you to speak in private later.
You do know I'm the one in charge here, right?
What I know
Aurora,
about
this is
this
what you
land.
walk up on.
What I know about this land is that titles are given and not earned.
And
I'm not a
you
nobleman.
Raziel, I think you see Aurora approaching because you're actually facing towards the rest of the room.
Yeah,
And
Arthur does not
like,
see this, but Arthur has a look on his face that is just this bitch.
right? Like, and Aurora, you walk up and they seem to be arguing.
Is there anything I can help with, guys? You seem to be a little
Do
upset.
you know? Oh, okay, so you say that, and Raziel immediately turns to you, and he's like, "Do you know where all of these soft-handed people have their second dinner?"
No, no, I haven't found that yet.
I'm being told I cannot ask questions. I will wait for Evaria. Evaria has asked for a moment alone.
Would you mind explaining to this big lug how a chain of command works?
Well, you see, it's like this. Somebody declares themselves in charge. And we
I
all
didn't
must
declare anything.
So while the three of you are arguing, I want to come over to Avaria real quick. So Avaria, you have managed to get down the hallway some, kind of like you're kind of like pacing along, thinking about the evenings, like sort of like what information you've gathered in the evening, sort of events and whatnot, and you're not paying attention, and all of a sudden you feel a cloth on across your mouth and your nose, and you feel strong arms grab you, and you hear a familiar voice from behind you, like in your ear, say, "I apologize, Miss Cross, but I am under orders." And your world fades away and falls away from behind you, and you feel yourself slipping into unconsciousness.
All right, so the familiar voice, like familiar how? Like, is it male, female?
Male. And
Okay.
you like, as your world sort of falls away from you, as you slip into a consciousness, you're grasping at, whose voice is this? I know this. You realize it's your contact, Jay.
This mother. Mm, we should have killed him when we had a chance.
So, um, we'll take this back to Evaria and Archer and Raziel. So you guys are standing
Aurora.
here. You're kind of Aurora, sorry, and you guys are kind of standing here, like in the middle of this sort of discussion and argument. Like where do we cut back into you guys?
Raziel's finally.
I didn't
Raziel is
declare.
like, "Look, there's one way to determine this. I will simply ask Evaria if you are in charge." And he turns around and he opens the door to go find her.
Oh, he could go, but I can't. I hate this town. I'm going back to drinking. I'm done.
He hears your logic in that, and he stops and he's like, "You're right. Come on.
Well, hold
You need
on.
to be here
Matt.
too."
Hold on. I will follow you, but if I'm going to continue to be part of this charade, I can't do it sober. He's going to get like the largest drink they have, the largest, and it's almost a science that this lad has, where he is finding the perfect mix of the drink's actual size compared to the alcohol content of what is in the drink to find what is actually the most efficient method of getting tipsy, picks it up, and then runs over with like a keen hand. Not a single drop spills, despite the fact he is actually schmoovin'. As he gets to that door,
All right,
looks up at the big man and goes, "Now I'm ready to deal with this shit."
Aurora, do you mention anything about what you found, or do you decipher this as not being the time right?
It's not the time.
Okay.
Not the time.
Yeah.
There's too much power struggle going on right
We're
now.
sorry, Aurora.
So you're
Dad and other dad are fighting. Dad and bigger
Yeah.
dad are fighting.
Dad and
So
big uncle.
Yeah.
I
So
just
you
love it
guys-
because it's an absolute power struggle, but Raziel's not interested in being in charge. He's not struggling. It's not. He's struggling
He's
for
struggling
Avaria,
for
who also
Ivaria's
doesn't have it.
power. Yeah.
It's a one-sided power struggle.
so right. So you're
Irony is that nobody wants the power, actually.
yeah, exactly. That is
True.
that is actually true. Yeah. Archer was promoted against his own better judgment. Yeah. So yeah, you guys kind of like get down start wandering down the hallway, and Raziel, you know about how long it's been for Avario walking, like, and like how she's been like walking, and she's not in the immediate area where you would expect for her to actually have made it to. Like, she's got a head start on you, but if you guys are hurrying, you should have been
Yeah.
able to catch up with her.
This makes no
And
sense. Her tiny legs can't possibly move that fast.
yeah,
They're actually rather normal-sized legs. It's yours the ones who are giant.
Her tiny legs couldn't possibly move that fast.
Archer's just going to do the ranger thing, and he's actually just looking for any sign of where she could have gone.
all right.
This might actually be a big
Searching.
moment because I'm actually also going to do some tracking here. Barbarians
So-
and rangers kind of share that.
Well, do you have do you have the tracking feat, and B, this would actually be more of a perception check, like a spot.
Perception.
This would be like a spot check more than anything. Or I'll
All
just default it to spot, because it's actually probably not exactly spot, but it's close. So Arter, it's not so much that you spot anything with your eyes, but more like you spot something with your nose. Like as you're kind of like walking, like down the hallway, you come to a point where something just smells off. It smells like it's got like a vaguely chemical smell, like a vaguely alchemical smell. Like you might have stumbled into an alchemist workshop at some point or another, and this is kind of like what you smell it smells like the kind of reagents that an alchemist might use.
And you're saying any tracks left would be too delicate for a standard survival?
Well, I'm saying you don't make tracks on stone. Like, she was still you're still in the castle itself. Like, there's
Gotcha.
walking across the stone hallways, and like there's like no natural surroundings. You're inside a castle. So
I think Archer, with all of this, stops, takes a sip of the drink before he sets the glass down off to the side where someone won't like walk into it, but he's setting it down very delicately so that it doesn't make a noise before
okay.
holding up his hand to Raziel to kind of give him the universal signal to stop and be quiet. And he's going to very like crouched low, trying to be quiet, creep towards the direction that the smell seems to be getting stronger from.
It seems to be kind of in it seems to be kind of in the middle of the hall. Like there's and it's only sort of like a faint after trace.
Someone's
I
back
mean,
again.
let's see. Let me look at something here. I want to look at. If I need to check something. Hmm. No, not seeing anything specific there. See. See. Okay. Yeah, that's really for now all that you can really get out of it. Is there a faint alchemical smell in the middle of the hallway?
Are there any nearby like doors towards the middle of the hallway?
There are a number of like windows, sort of open air windows, and there's a few doors and whatnot. But you're kind of at the side of the castle. Like this hallway is along the side of the castle.
Yeah,
So if you look
Archer
out,
will.
if you look out the windows, you'd be looking down into sort of the muster grounds or whatever from the barracks and the mustering grounds.
Yeah, Archer will sign for Raziel to come closer as he's checking the windows to see if there's any sign that someone had left through them recently.
Okay.
And once Raziel is close enough, you smell that?
Can I smell it?
I think it's one of those things as somebody points it out, like you kind of start smelling for something that's off. Maybe you don't necessarily figure it for an alchemical thing because you probably have less experience with alchemy, but something doesn't smell natural here, for sure.
Yeah, I only have knowledge nature and survival, so
Yeah,
yeah, it smells like, honestly, it smells like poison to me.
yeah.
Something's not right.
Aurora, did you follow them? Are you with them
I
at this
followed
point?
them, and I'm looking
Okay.
to see if I can see anything on the ground.
Okay. So you want to do. Why don't you all give me search checks to see what you might turn up?
Search.
Wow.
So, Raziel, I don't know what you're looking at, but you are looking in the wrong direction entirely. With a roll that low, you're looking in a comically wrong direction. Like maybe you picked up like a potted plant and you're looking under it or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
You can describe that however you want. Um,
Uh, Rosdale screams, "It was you!" and then punches out a window.
I think Aurora, like, it isn't so much that you notice like any signs of passage on the like in the hall or whatever, but maybe as you're kind of looking down, like maybe you look out the window looking to see if anybody is climbing down or something like that. You do see that on the wall, like the wall opposite of this castle wall, like you look down, you look past the sort of muster grounds and the barrack houses, and you're looking at the wall on the other side, and you almost don't see it at first, but you like as you're kind of scanning, you see a a guard that is slumped over one of like the crenellations, like the sort of like um, archer slot crenellation kind of things, slumped over. He looks almost like he's like he almost at first he almost looks like he's awake and kind of standing guard. But as you look at his posture, you've seen a guard that's asleep on duty before. This guy is asleep. Um, but it's more than that. It looks like he's been posed.
Mm. So I don't know if you guys have noticed this guy over there, but take a look at this. This looks a little strange. Um, I don't think that guy over there is okay. I don't think that guard is actually standing guard. He's just standing, kinda.
Yeah, you guys, when she points it out, you guys can see it too.
Wake up!
Well, he's a you just yell out across the courtyard, like several like guards like that are in the barracks and whatnot. There's like after a couple of minutes, like come out looking around blearily and like their long johns or whatever. Oh, what are you? What? And their nightshirts, like what? Are you? It's like, um,
Yeah, Arthur cuts a look to Rosie like this, like, we're trying to be sneaky.
If all you guys ever do is try to be sneaky, and he crosses his arms.
Turning to Aurora, the more sensible person here, Arthur
Yes.
looks to Aurora. The way I see it, we have two options. We can go back and we can try to grab Bazbeer, or we can start looking now. I think Avaria might be in danger.
I think we need to start looking now. Any minute that we spend gathering other people is minutes wasted.
Together or split up?
I'm no good at this. I will find the dwarf. You two search. Your senses are clearly more keen. And since I have a 40 feet move speed, I'm just gonna book it to find Bazbear.
Oh man,
Yeah.
the ground. Thump,
Yeah.
thump, thump.
Oh yeah, it's loud.
I'm not really keen on the idea of going off by myself because I still don't know where the guys are that were chasing me in the first place. So
That's a good
I'm not
point.
super keen on being by myself.
Arthur will tap at his nose at that because that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we will book it down the other end of the hallway from where Braziel was stomping off.
Yeah. So, it doesn't take it like you guys are. I'm not gonna make you guys do like searcher spots because that's exactly what you're doing, and I'm assuming you're kind of taking 20 to figure this out. Um, the as you go, you find a number of this isn't the only guard you find that has been posed and is not awake. However, this doesn't seem the guards you find don't seem to be in a particular like you can kind of work out how how they were taken out, like what pattern they were taken out in, but they didn't whoever it was either extraordinarily deliberate about like making sure that anyone that could be possibly discover them was taken out, or they were just incredibly random and didn't know exactly where to look. But you can kind of work out what path was taken. There's like a total of 5 guards. Like none of them are actually dead, but they are all passed out. And when they each of them come to, and they're just very groggy and like don't know what happened. Like they're like 1 minute they were doing what they were supposed to do, whether it was patrolling the grounds or standing guard on the wall, and the next minute they were, several feet away from where they started, and you were waking them up.
Do I
Like,
ultimately find Bazbear, or
yeah, you managed to like. I think it's probably not hard to find like maybe there's maybe like you come across Ibley and Ibley points you that leads you to the library.
dope? Bazbear probably knows something's wrong because
Or the
it's me in a
study.
library.
Yeah, like
yeah.
there is the door to the study opens, and like maybe you're poring over some tome or another, and and Raziel and Ibli come through the door.
Yeah, Bazbeer looks up and immediately knows something's wrong. He says, "What has happened?"
Foreteller, the guards, forced asleep. Avaria missing. Archer in over his head.
Bazbeer says, "Alert the rest of the guards immediately. Somebody needs to search this area, and I fear our compatriots will need more help."
All right, we need to make haste.
Yeah, and
You're a,
Bazbeer.
dwarf, you're a dwarf, though, so you only move 20 feet, right?
Yeah, Bazbeer does the old man toddle the whole time.
Yeah,
All right.
he's-
No, he's not. Raziel scoops you up and puts you on his shoulders.
Put me down!
I love it.
We have no time, Foreteller. Tiny legs are what fell to Avaria.
Bazbeer's just like holding onto your hair as you're going, just like, "No, put me down!" Like, perfect.
All right,
But yeah,
Archer-
we're
several
alerting
minutes
guards.
Later, yeah, several minutes later, a very disheveled Bazbeer is dropped in front of you.
I feel like somehow we did not hear all of this because we've been trying to wake one of the guards who's a
Yeah.
bit more groggy. Archer and Aurora are both doing things like slapping this guy, trying to find something to pour on him. And then there's just a dwarf, like, dropped unceremoniously beside Archer, who, like, reaches, like, he's like, "Oh, boy, how'd you get here?" "Oh." And then look up at Russ. No.
Says,
"I was most kindly carried by our compatriot,"
he says as he gets up and kind of pops his back and says,
"I've alerted the guards."
"We haven't found her yet. Someone's been taking these guards out as they go."
Methodical.
And if this guy will, like, maybe just to add on to how dire Archer sees this situation, that they can't wake this guy up who might have information to find Avaria. He gives him one last tap on the cheek. Nothing happens. He looks both ways, clicks his tongue, like, "Sorry, lad," and then just gives him a swift kick to the jimmies.
he's like, "Oh!" He's like, he's crumpled up. And
"Remember,
Have
lad,
you-
pain is temporary."
Have you seen a strange woman recently?
ow! Oh, like he's like, "Oh God, if that was your sister, I'm sorry." Ooh, God, I was a little too drunk. I'm sorry, man. Oh, ow.
Yeah, Archer just looks over to Bazbeer, Rosie, and Aurora, goes, "I don't think he's going to be seeing any women anytime soon."
uh,
I didn't kick
Yeah.
him that hard.
let's see here. I might have a spell here because I would have prepared for exploration as opposed to combat for today. I would like to detect undead and continue having detect undead going for the entire duration of the spell in the cone in front of me.
I love that will actually find Avaria since they're a dreadnought.
Shit, you're
That
right.
will actually find Avaria. She counts as undead.
Well, you
Not
don't
yet. She's on the
detect-
third level.
You
Are
don't.
you Tombborn?
Oh yeah, I am Tomb Touch. Yeah, I am Tomb Tainted.
Yeah,
Well-
oh shit! So detect undead. I would have been able to detect undead on her a long time ago. Oh well.
Well, you do not detect any undead
Hmm.
in the vicinity.
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume I have it going for the entire 10-minute duration as I just
Yeah.
do the cone in front of me like detect magic you would.
Yeah, whatever happened happened very recently, or at least happened with somebody who knew the limitations of the spell, which would require a cleric.
1 second.
So,
Hold on. I need to look
Or
up
a
what a spell
mage.
does real quick. Okay. Augury can tell you whether a particular action will bring good or bad results to you in your immediate future. Okay. I would like to change in my second level spell, my Zone of Truth, to cast Augury.
Okay.
And I would like to say, I would like to ask, will searching for Ivaria provide results? And of course, it's wheel and woe, or nothing.
Okay, so what are the percentages on that?
The base chance of receiving a meaningful reply is 70 plus 1% per caster level to a maximum of 90. So I have a 73% chance to get an accurate answer from this.
Okay, let me something here.
Even when she's not playing Call of Cthulhu, Mira is finding ways to roll percentile die.
Yeah, it's true.
Ooh.
Mm.
Okay, so what was your question?
Will searching for Ivaria result in, and this is for the next 10-minute period. Will searching for Ivaria, or no, the immediate future. Will searching for Ivaria yield results? Like, what results will it yield, I suppose, would be the way to phrase it.
It gives you the if you get the sense that searching the immediate searching for a area will probably not yield results in the next 10 minutes.
So, woe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So, you're not gonna,
Bazbeer spends a minute casting this spell, and he
and
probably
that just means it's either going to take longer than 10 minutes, or you're going to have to, or your search methods need to be changed, or something of that.
Right. Yeah, I think Bazbeer will like take out a piece of chalk and draw this circle, and then put like 2 marks in Dwarven on either side. Sets the chalk in the center, and then the chalk rolls slightly to the side of Woe, and he kind of lets out a sigh and says,
Well, unless we change things, we aren't going to be finding her anytime soon.
What's your
All right.
suggestion, Master Dwarf?
Says I only can read the omens. Can't see exactly where she is yet.
So I think with that, while you guys are kind of like, actually, so what do you guys spend the rest of the night doing? Like, are you going to spend how are you going to spend the rest of this night?
Bazbeer is going to vigilantly search, sacrificing sleep.
Okay.
He's like very much like, okay, like we gotta find Ivaria. I'm going to search the best of my ability, like comb the castle grounds, and once he's done with that, probably at like 4 or 5 in the morning, he'll finally settle down for a couple hours of sleep.
All right.
Bazbeer has Raziel's absolute help through the entire, because Raziel also like he just fucking refound her. So
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Archer will
with
do
that as well. Sorry.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Archer will do much
But
the
I'm with that
same as the others, but I think Archer is going to also see to it that Aurora always has someone nearby just in case.
All right. Yeah.
Cool.
So searching the castle grounds yields no results. The sun kind of comes up over the horizon, and you've all been up all night at this point. Today you are going to be suffering penalties for fatigue. You'll be suffering penalty fatigue for the rest of it until you take a rest.
Okay.
So basically a -1 on pretty much every roll. The how and we'll cut over to Avaria. Avaria, you wake up hearing voices, sort of muffled at first, and I'll give you the opportunity to decide whether or not you want to wake up and try to interact with the people around you, or whether you want to listen first before you decide to quote unquote wake up. You can attempt a bluff check to appear to be asleep for a few rounds if you wish to see if you can gather.
All right, I'm going to go for the bluff. God dang it,
Okay.
dice.
All right.
Oh, dice.
Let
You're
me
definitely awake, and we also know you're a necromancer.
let me I want to roll and see how long you have before they notice you're awake.
Oh, okay.
You
4
get a
rounds.
little bit of, you get a little bit of time. So as you come back into wakefulness, you hear a female voice like it's like she will want to see her for herself. And then you hear the voice you recognize as Rassen. Uh, Still say we interrogate her first, see what she knows. The fact that they're here and they're here this soon suggests that there's a leak somewhere on. And maybe like you're like through your squinted eyes, you can kind of see like you're in a cell of some sort in what looks like something underground, and you can kind of see outside of the cell the woman who was identified by Levante, Rassen, and your contact Jay. And Rassen looks over at Jay with something leak, but Jay responds with, "Or perhaps you're just sloppy. You failed to kill Flash and Imric." Says, "Oh, and there was the failed trap at the farmhouse. Utilizing the Knoll priestess? Good idea. Oh, but it was her idea and it ultimately didn't work. Oh, and who was it who left an incredibly obvious and clear message in a Halef after Ravage destroyed it? Who hung the boy and left a very obvious calling card?" And Rassen draws his barbed dagger, and you just glints in the light as he kind of like as he takes a stand and takes a stance. Jay, for his part, takes a defensive posture, but slips his hand into one of his many pouches, and the tension is broken off with Levante. "Enough! Shut the fuck up, both of you. There's plenty of blame to go around anywhere." And the two kind of grudgingly back off. Jay's the first to sort of relax more fully and is a bit more flippant. It takes a more flippant posture. And Levante kind of like looks over and sees you. And it's like, "You're awake. Good. Why don't you get yourself up? You're going to be coming with us." And there's and Rassen kind of adds for emphasis. He still has his barbed dagger in his hand. He goes, "I assure you, any attempt to escape, any attempt to attack or do anything untoward will result in nothing but pain for you."
Don't threaten me with a good time.
He he looks like he's about to take a step forward, and Levante like glowers at him again, and he goes, and he kind of just snarls and gives like the cruelest smile that you've ever seen. And you can kind of smell the stale alcohol smell from here. Like he's standing close enough to the cell that you can smell that smell that anyone who's been close to him can smell. And
Back off, please. The stench
Levanti
alone was gonna kill me. You don't need that dagger.
Levanti like motions to Jay, who opens the cell door and gestures, and he kind of, and as he sort of gestures for you to kind of like fall in, and Levanti is looking looking directly at you. Like Jay turns and looks to Ras and he goes, "If there's something you'd like to ask me, just ask." And he just gives like a very sarcastic bow, but Rassen uh, just sort of growls and takes up a position on one side of you. Jay, for his part, chuckles like he's made some grandiose joke, and Levanti kind of like rolls her eyes at this. Um, but they otherwise sort of take up like a triangle form around you, with Levanti sort of in front, leading the way. Um, Actually, she puts Jask up. Like she takes up one of the side spots where she can keep an eye on both of them. And
All right, so I shoot Jay like I just glare at him the entire time.
he just sort of smiles, and he just sort of continues his his sort of reckless smile in the face of what looks like a bit of issue here, at least between him and Rassen. I would like for you to give me a sense motive check. You're only going to get something on a 20, but it's always worth the roll
Well,
because you might roll a nat 20.
yeah. Here we go. Nope.
Nope.
Not even close.
Right. Well, you are led up and
Still drugged.
Yeah. You are still a little groggy, but you can see that there is like worked stonework, and you kind of go up some stairs, and there's a wall in front of you to which Jay stops for a moment and fiddles with something, and then like the wall opens up, and you kind of find yourself stumbling up into a wine cellar, um, which they guide you through and upstairs, and they bring you like farther up and up, and all the windows are draped and shuttered so you can't see the outside, but you get the impression that you're inside a well-worked brick building. Like it reminds you of it reminds you of a townhouse. Um, the way that it's decorated, the way that the brickwork is, the curtains on the over the windows and what have you. And eventually you find yourself up in sort of a larger. You go up a couple of stories, and you find yourself up in like a larger room that it looks like a room that's been made for sort of entertaining company. There's a couple of sofas off to the side. There's a table, with some chairs around it that is sort of in the center of the room. There's some decorations. It looks somewhat cozy. There's like a number of like large cushions and or pillows in one corner. There's soft light, and as you're being led into this room and looking around, uh, you're there's a moment where the like you're sort of waiting, and you like the four of you are the only one, and as you're kind of like doing as you're kind of waiting and looking at the surroundings, there's a few paintings and whatnot. And the food on the table smells good. There's one.
Do you
And
do you think that I'm going to eat right now? You have kidnapped me, and once my friends find out that you have taken me, there will be hell to pay.
Levanti just looks at you and goes, I'm not worried about your friends in the slightest. And as for whether or not you eat, frankly, I don't give a damn. She goes, and there's a sound at the other end of the room, and a door opens, and a very familiar face walks in, resplendent in like a black and red and purple sort of like dress, very well kept, and the face on the individual, on this woman, is very, very familiar. In fact, one could say she taught you everything you know.
Like Avaria squints and like looks tries to look past the like the regalness of the clothes and the decadence of the clothes, and she's like, Ibzani?
And and maybe as the camera pans more fully to her, you see Ibzani, and she looks, other than her clothing, exactly like you remember her the last time you saw her.
All right, so Avaria looks around at all the rest of the other three, and she's like, "What have you done to her? What have you done? Why is she like this? Have you brainwashed her? What have you done?"
Ibzani kind of looks at the other three, waves her hand, and she goes, "We'll be quite all right here. You may go about your bit. You may be." She's like, "You are dismissed. You may go about your other business." And the three of them move out of and the three of them go to leave. Uh, Jask with the same flippant, or Jask, the Jay with the just ask with the guy, like fucking, he goes walking, he has the same flippant grin on his face as he walks out. And I think Rassen, I think Rassen holds this gaze a little bit long with you and continues to glare at you as he leaves the room. Levanti is the last one. She gives you a cold a glare as she and walks out the door and shuts the door behind. Ibzani just kind of looks at you and goes, I'm glad to see you. It's been a very long time. I have been keeping up with your progress. Says she goes, I have been keeping up with your progress. We have a great deal to discuss.
Discuss. Like, no, she drops her axe. She's like, discuss. What is this all about, Ibzani?
She goes,
Why are you dressed like that?
she's like,
Why are you? What is going on?
she goes, opportunity. They have access to certain resources when it comes to the study of necromancy that others simply do not. She goes, she goes, have a seat. We'll speak more in depth after you've had some food in you. It might help wear off some of the grogginess from Jask's reagents.
I will not sit and I will not eat until you explain why you're dressed like that, why you are working with kill hands. What is happening?
She goes, she goes, she's like, you really should have a seat. And she takes a seat herself and she goes, please.
Avaria relents and sits down, but she refuses to eat.
All right. And I think that's probably where we're going to leave off at for today. Dun dun
Nice.
dun. Right.
Nice.
So, if you all want to start sending me your Player's Choice Awards, and we'll get sign off started. Whoever wants to go first.
I can go.
Bueller? Anybody? Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Hi, everybody. My name is Mir, also known as Mir Shades GM. Today, you caught me playing Baz Beer Foreteller, who, he got access to a library, and now he's barely going to have time to use it because his ward is kidnapped. So that's a problem. But you can also catch me this Monday, where I'm going to be running Napple 2.0 hour at around like 6:30. Something like that. But yeah, we've got some fun stuff there. We're going to finish off a mission, and then we're going to do a night market. So that'll be real fun. And then past that, that's about all you can see from me on this channel, so I will kick it down the road to the next one.
Who's up next?
I'll go. This is Joe. You caught me playing Avaria Kraz, who has found herself in a tight spot. She does not know what to do, and she is very thrown off right now. Her former guardian is working with the kill hands. What? Anyway, you won't see me anywhere else on this channel, but you will see Half Sisters on Tubi if you want to. All right, kicking it up to the next person.
I can go next. Hi ho, friendolas. My name is Roland, otherwise known as Niger. Got me here today playing Arthur Tiller, the guy who did not decide to be in charge, doesn't want to be in charge, and now has to find the rest of the party because everyone keeps disappearing. You can also find me here on, Monday for Napple, where I play Tariq Budabara, the actual horror movie nightmare character, who's also just a sweetie. You can also find me here on Wednesdays, whenever we get back to Wednesdays, where I am in Seafoam Bay, where I play Orin Wieldgrass, the witch who is probably going to die in this combat, because we're kind of screwed. But come in and see that. It's always fun to see. That is it for me.
I can go next.
All right.
Yeah, just call me Rabbit. Caught me here playing Raziel, desperately struggling to figure out the soft ways of this weird new land. Not in any other current games, but look forward to being here next time.
All right.
And I'm Izzy, and I'm playing Aurora, and you won't find me anywhere else. This is the only place I am. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Is that everybody?
That's all of us.
All right. So, everybody gets 125 experience points tonight. You guys did a really good job of investigating. You guys hit. I think there were only a couple of things you could have possibly found out that you didn't find out yet. So, and they were extraordinarily high DCs. Like one or two of them were things that only one or two members of the party hit. So 125 XP each. Raziel, you get the Player's Choice Award for this week for an extra 50 XP. Sometimes it's
Thank
the
you,
guy
everyone.
who, yeah. Sometimes it's the piece that doesn't fit quite as well that fits the best, I guess.
You carried me when no one else would.
Hey,
I was looking for 2 sets of footprints, and I only found.
And there was
It's 'cause
only
Beth
one,
here.
and that was where Raziel carried me. Oh, that's good.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
yeah. So that good stuff, guys. A little bit of reveals this week and what have you. So I look forward to next session, and I look forward to what's coming up here as we go forward. So let's get an RIP Posker, and we'll get out of here. RIP Posker.
R.I.P. Posker.
That's the Foster.